I hate this. It is so deliberately like trying to stop real speech, like normal conversations from taking place on this matter. It is so up. I feel like I'm losing my goddamn mind, dude. What is happening? We have updated our enforcement guidelines. I think Twitch needs to stop caving to these goons, okay? These little goobers that are cynically crying about like hateful misconduct happening on a platform that literally has the most rigorous application of its own terms of service. It's crazy that the guys that are yelling from Kick, okay? Like it's such an overt and cynical, silly ass thing. And it's like people who are banned, by the way, I know people who are banned because they violated the terms of service are now attacking the platform and trying to do anything and everything they possibly can. Train coming for you. Using the term to refer to a political movement, whether it's in a supportive or critical way, does not violate our hateful conduct policy. As a part of our hateful conduct policy, we prohibit the use of the term that may not be harmful or abusive in isolation, but can be used as a slur to denigrate others in certain contexts. In line with that approach, starting today, using the term Zionist to attack or demean another individual or group of people on the basis of their background or religious belief is against our rules. We recognize that Zionist or Zionism also refer to a political movement. Using the term to refer to the political movement, whether in a supportive or critical way, does not violate our hateful conduct policy. Our goal isn't to stifle conversation about criticism of an institution or ideology, but to prevent coded hate directed at individuals or groups of people. We include examples of language we prohibit in our enforcement here. So I think it's like, you can't say like, going forward, okay, like chat, you do realize like you're all gonna get banned, right? I mean, it's fine. If you want to get banned, you can get banned. I know that you disagree with this, and I disagree with it as well, but there's not really anything you can do. It's just, it is what it is. Twitch is caving and capitulating to people that are 100% doing this cynically in an effort to basically hurt the platform that they were banned from, okay? Move to Kick? No, I'm not going to move to the file Nazi website, dude. Out of here. People are so stupid. Yeah, dude, I know. We should move to Kick, a platform that definitely has a rigorous application of terms of service. You just can't use Zionism as an insult. And that's what, or Zionist as an insult is what they're saying. It is what it is. You just got to live with it. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. There's nothing I can do about it. All of this cynical smear campaign with mass hate emails being sent to every advertiser, like all of this brigading from institutions that normally don't give a are not like actually genuinely offended or anything, but just don't want any drama whatsoever, are going to have repercussions. And this is what I've been talking about over and over again, saying that like these guys literally have tried to forcibly trigger an adpocalypse and are making Twitch like they're forcing Twitch to just, be punished. How do you regulate that? No matter what happens, I'm not one of these people that's like, even if it's something that's stupid, okay? And this is a stupid conduct enforcement policy. It's really vague. And it's really difficult to truly figure out like how to use it. But like the reality of the matter is, if you say fascists, okay, no one is gonna get mad at you. So that's what I will continue to do. I don't think that, is it bannable to call terrorists terrorists based on their background? No, it's not. You want to know why it's not? Because Islamophobia is institutionally permitted. Hello, welcome. Okay, understand the world that we exist in. Wake up. There's not really much I can do about it. It is what it is. Read the examples it gives under enforcement notes. It seems fine. Where is it? The language used to call review. We want to make sure that our hateful conduct policy continues to be flexible and cover terms that may be used to cause harm to others. We'll continue to evaluate. Yeah, I just think that like they're caving to like Zionism. People use it as a catch-all to say all Jews, and what they don't realize is when that happens, right? When that happens, then the same people that have been crying about it are going to turn around and say, look at all the times where they were talking about Zionism. This violates the policy. Why haven't you banned this guy? I'm telling you right now, it's like a two-step program, okay? That's precisely what they're going to do now. They have all my chats logged, like my community's chats logged. They're going to go back to the advertisers and be like, Twitch is not following through on its own enforcement policies. Look at all the times when like people have talked about Zionism, the political ideology, and Twitch itself now recognizes Zionism as a different way to say, Jewish person, which is not true, right? I have talked over and over and over again under very academic settings about these sorts of values. Like, the hilarity of the situation is, this is unironically what conservatives used to complain about when they fantasized about like college campuses not letting free speech exist in an environment, and they're doing that. Like, there's never been a moment where I haven't specifically offered context, like historical context or analysis in this sort of stuff when I'm covering these sorts of issues. And yet it's so easy to just like rob it of its context and just be like, no, this guy is anti-Semitic. This guy is hateful. And then basically repeat it over and over and over again, and like bully advertisers as well who are afraid of political content regardless. And then Twitch is scared of massive losses of revenue, or even like Amazon, coming down the hammer and striking Twitch in a meaningful way. So they just like cave. It's people very cynically using a lot of these organizations' lack of interest in getting into any controversy or putting themselves out there in any meaningful fashion. It's basically them, caving to this. It's caving to like very clearly cynical losers who are falsely smearing people as like anti-Semitic from a platform that has like literally straightforward Nazi, like a platform that houses Nazis. You know what I mean? Like, these are kick streamers yelling about Twitch. It's so obvious what's going on, and it's not even hidden. You know what I mean? Look, this is from their own subreddit, right? The guy who's doing this, Dan Can't Stream, he's like the main guy. No bad tactics, only bad targets. They would just as soon use these methods on you. Strategy number one of the CIA when they want to topple a far/left government is to create infighting. You are not MAGA enough. You are not a real freedom fighter. To my knowledge, the CIA doesn't engage in canvassing operations or advocacy. This tactic should have been left to the Autism Squad or whatever the secret DG operatives call themselves. Destiny may lose credibility as an advocate for democracy if he allows or supports his community in sharing information with fascist, democratic media figures. Turning the fascist machinery against itself is a fair game. It's effective warfare, and I completely disagree with your high road take. This is when they were talking about going to libs of TikTok. Libs of TikTok, Chaya Raichik is that transphobic loser that they were collaborating with, and his own community was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you working with these fascists to try to take down Twitch? And he basically was like, I don't care. I just want to take them down. I will work with whoever I can. I've heard they have a Tom Cotton collab in the works as well. And it's like, that's it. You are having one of the most far-right orgs take down far-left content, both of them hating Jews, creating huge stress for the moderates of both parties and forcing both to want a distance from them. The meme of this is a weapon of the enemy. We do not need this for anime. In real life, we pick up the proverbial gun and shoot the motherfucker. Not just yelling, but also engaging in Islamophobia in the process of calling out hate speech. Very weird. They aren't going to stop until Hasanabi is banned. They straight up said it, lol. I know. And like, they don't care. That's the worst part about it, is that like, look, in their endless like interest of getting Destiny unbanned, which is like what Dan openly said he wanted to do, or get me banned, one or the other, right? They're basically fucking destroying this goddamn platform, or trying to destroy this goddamn platform. And it's crazy. And no, Twitch will not die soon. I know everybody always says this dumb shit, but no, I don't think Twitch is going to die soon, guys. I don't think that like a bunch of loser brigaders are going to cause the entire platform to collapse. It's just, like I said, it's still very, very frustrating. It's very frustrating to see that like these guys are basically botting mass email campaigns talking about how anti-Semitic the platform is over and over again. And it is the least anti-Semitic out of all the platforms out there. And I say this as someone who combats anti-Semitism on a regular basis, and I'm losing my mind because the people that are doing it are literally collaborating with Nazis on the platform with actual Nazis. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, and in the process, they're like that's the other thing. There's like a ton. There are a ton of Jewish content creators on Twitch. If you were to ask them personally, and Nandre can attest to this as well as many others, they would say that like this is an infinitely safer platform than all these other places. And these guys that have been banned for violating those terms of service are so mad, so butthurt that they can't stop being edgy, that like they want to blow it up and destroy the platform and for a bunch of Jewish content creators in the process as well as everybody else. Creative mischief, you're missing this part. Oh, here. Prohibited example, Zionist, name of animal. Allowed example, Zionist settlers keep encroaching Palestinian borders. Yeah, we prohibit the use of terms that may not be harmful or abusive in isolation, but can be used as a slur to denigrate others in certain contexts. Yeah, that's basically it. Similar to terms that may be used as a proxy for a protected group, we treat Zionists as a proxy for Jews or Israelis if the word is used in a context to promote harm or violence, or when used to make dehumanizing comparisons, or perpetuate anti-Semitic stereotypes. Comments regarding Zionism that are about the political movement, including criticism, do not violate our hateful conduct policy. Comments that call for violence against Zionism as a political movement or comments that would otherwise violate our policies are not allowed. Okay? So that's it. You can't use it as a pejorative. You can talk about it as a political movement. And I know a lot of you are going to want to try and use it as a pejorative. And every single person that's like saying that right now, every single person that's like using that as a pejorative is getting logged. You're most likely going to get banned from the platform. Okay. Not only are you going to get banned from the platform, but before you get banned from the platform, Destiny will use the things that you're saying in the chat, and his community will use the things that you're saying in the chat to try to get me banned from the platform as well. I'm just letting y'all know.
This is a website doing deep data analysis. We have a live stream of Hassan's Discord and Denim's Discord and everyone else's Discord to another Revolt, which is kind of like another Discord server. So we can go in there at any time and we can search for any message. Even if they wipe everything, we still have it.
Good.
So we've been doing that for like a year.
Twitch is going against UN resolutions. No, it doesn't matter. They're not like as aggro, and they're not doing they're not going as aggro as like the IHRA definition. Okay, literally like saying you can't say Nazis are bad. No, it's not like that. You can say Zionism is a harmful political ideology. I agree it's dumb to capitulate, but it also seems like it's the same as the wheat thins controversy. So at least they're being consistent. Maybe I'm off base. It is no different than the wheat thins controversy, except this time when most people look at like anti-white racism as a joke, anti-Semitism is real, unlike anti-white racism or whatever. So obviously, while most brands don't have a problem with the term cracker, okay, when you establish guidelines and rules about Zionism in this way, and you basically say, no, the framing that like Zionism can be a catch-all or a substitute for Jewish people, then yeah, a lot of people will also agree with that. Like there is no institution that is going to uphold anti-white racism, okay, or treat it seriously. But of course, anti-Semitism, unlike anti-white racism, like saying the word cracker, is a real thing. Anti-Semitism is a real thing. It's a real historic wrong, right? And I think that's what it is. So yeah, when you say stuff like that, this is a good example of someone who's gonna get banned. Okay, like, and I banned them as well personally, but you can't do that. That's it. Thank you for demonstrating what kind of speech now is not allowed on the website. Imagine being 40 and throwing a publicly broadcast tantrum like you're 4. Pig dog is also an anti-Jewish slur, apparently. Jew here, I didn't know this. Yeah, I didn't know that either. I just realized they're going to try to get you banned when you say hogs. Maybe. So how does this apply to calling people a Nazi on Twitch when we know they get hurt about anti-white racism and Nazi can be conflated with white people, particularly Germans? I think that it's not going to be, it's not. I researched it. Wait, is it? Bro, the other day, Asmongold said, Chaz said based at a Jewish conspiracy theory. I wonder if any of them got banned. No. I guess the only thing I can say is this, it's going to go away eventually. You just have to wait it out, you know? It sucks. And I wish that these guys would like spend their time and efforts on something else, but they're not going to stop, especially when when an institution actually caves to this kind of like cynical framing, they get a taste of it. Like there's a reason why it compounded since like since the Arabs podcast got banned, right? Because if someone is just constantly going, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem, and the platform doesn't actually offer it any sort of, any sort of seriousness, right? It's illegitimate. And I know this because like these guys went to the New York Post and like every outlet they possibly could with this story, and no serious outlet took it seriously. They were like, okay, this seems like yet another instance where you are conflating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. We're not going to cover it, right? So it was always like illegitimate propaganda rags that were, engaging in it. But that's neither here nor there. Like the only people that would like take this kind of seriously was the likes of Richie Torres, and it would never have been a thing. But then Twitch took action against the Sabra Hummus tier list, and then when Twitch took action against the Sabra Hummus tier list, just like the cracker thing, right? It became a serious situation, right? It became a serious situation after that. It's only real if a like legitimate institution. It's only real if a legitimate institution takes the cynical framework seriously. If everyone goes, you guys are ridiculous, you literally have you're yelling from the platform that has like straight up neo-Nazis on it, shut the fuck up, how ridiculous of you, then it doesn't go anywhere. They can compound on it over and over again and just like manifest or fester in their own hatred. It would never go anywhere. But then when institutions do take it seriously out of fear, because they are worried, then obviously in that process, like now people are going to write articles about this, right? Yeah. Twitch Adpocalypse has begun following criticism of the platform for anti-Semitism, with nearly all creators reporting a noticeable drop in their revenue. Interesting. Don't listen to this propaganda. They're not lying. All the phases complaining in the group chat. Yeah. I said this. I talked about this. I said, Asmongold, you're like collaborating with these losers is really dangerous territory. That's what I was referencing.
What would happen if they don't ban for a month? I'm going to. Empty threat. We're going to get to that. So I went and I said that if this guy doesn't get banned for 2 weeks, I'm going to bring Dan Saltman, who is the guy who has been talking about all of the anti-Semitism. And by the way, I don't want to spoil a whole lot, but he and I have had extensive conversations about this.
I was like, you're playing with fire. Like these guys want to tank the platform because they're just straightforwardly filled with hate. Okay, that's it. And it's not even necessarily just like Asmongold. Asmongold is just like another party in this process. But it's basically the most straightforward way of someone cynically trying to do cancel culture. And I don't know why people don't understand it. Like this is straightforwardly a Kiwi Farms style operation. They used to do this back in the day. Like the Nazis used to do this shit all the time. They would like dox people. They would do like mass email campaigns. Ironically enough, everyone thinks liberals do this kind of shit, but it's usually these guys. It's usually the 4chan guys that would do this kind of shit. Like people who just say every slur known to man would so quickly utilize like liberal institutions and their interest in maintaining like this aesthetic of progress by doing this sort of thing. Asmon's ban was the first thing that started it, man. You have to admit it. What do you mean? Admit what? Asmongold being banned for their inferior cultures that deserve to be genocided would have been a normal application of the terms of service if his entire community, but it's not even him. He's just being used in this process. If Destiny didn't use that as an opportunity to be like, let's bring in as many people to our cause as possible to fuck over Twitch. Like Ethan slandering Twitch over and over again. Yeah, and then you got the Kick co-founder saying the platform will either beat Twitch or buy them out. Yeah, ADL liked it. They said in the time of dangerously escalating anti-Semitism, we commend Twitch for changing their policy regarding the use of Zionist as a slur and proxy for hate against Jews. We are glad that Twitch acted on our recommendation to make this change. However, policy is only strong as enforcement, and we will be vigilant and appropriately skeptical about Twitch's enforcement of this new policy. When one of the largest streamers on Twitch, Hasan Piker, spends the hours after the Amsterdam pogrom minimizing the harm without consequence, it's still the platform has far to go. It's like, dude, What do you want me to do? Tailor my news coverage to lie? Like, I hate this. I hate this so much. Like, they called me out by name too. Like, that's insane. Like, why are you invested in this, man? You're the freaking ADL. Anti-Semitism is exploding all around the planet, and especially in the United States of America. And you're over here talking about a dude who is not anti-Semitic, who fights against anti-Semitism so consistently because you don't like the way that he's covering. Like, that's insane. It's so gross. Like, this is, yeah, they want me to, what do you want me to do? Like, Israel is the best? I'm sorry, guys. There it is. You got it. You won. Israel is the best. There's no genocide happening. Israel, and if there was one happening, it's good. Is that what you want me to say? Man, I hate this. It is so deliberately like trying to stop real speech, like normal conversations from taking place on this matter. It is so up. It's so insane. I feel like I'm losing my goddamn mind, dude. Fizz, the ADL praised our team's moderation when we were helping AOC for how little anti-Semitism they saw in the chat, but now all of a sudden you're anti-Semitic. Yeah, this community has been so active in fighting against anti-Semitism, more so than virtually every other community online. And the reason for that is because we are very knowledgeable on this, okay? That's it. Many people don't even understand anti-Semitism. Many people don't even think about it. They might say shit that is anti-Semitic without even realizing it. We don't even let that shit slide. I use that as an educational opportunity all the damn time. Yeah, the ADL's doing all this when RFK Jr. just got nominated as an option by Trump. You are the only one giving visibility to genocide in Palestine. You are an easy target between all the noise and distractions. This is the same kind of shit they did to Jeremy Corbyn, and it sucks. Yeah, and many normal people were like, yeah, I guess he is. I guess he is anti-Semitic. Like, people still think he's anti-Semitic. He's not. Reminder that the ADL still advertises on Elon's Twitter. I know. Yeah. Meanwhile, the UN Special Committee finds Israel's warfare methods in Gaza consistent with genocide, including use of starvation as a weapon of war. This just happened yesterday. Israel's warfare in Gaza is consistent with the characteristics of genocide, with mass civilian casualties and life-threatening conditions intentionally imposed on Palestinians there, the UN Special Committee to investigate Israeli practices said in a new report released today. Since the beginning of the war, Israeli officials have publicly supported policies that strip Palestinians of the very necessities required to sustain life, food, water, and fuel, the committee said. These statements, along with the systematic and unlawful interference of humanitarian aid, made clear Israel's intent to instrumentalize life-saving supplies for political and military gains. They trying to get you banned, buddy? Yeah, no, I know that. Is this D and Ethan? Yes. It's mostly Destiny's community. They're just using whoever they can. And Ethan is a willing participant in this. Yeah. Similar happening with Ben and Jerry. Yeah, this was really funny.
Bougie.
Ben and Jerry's is going to sue over Palestine. Their corporation that they're under. Ben and Jerry's, by the way, owned by Jewish people, for the record. Like, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, both Ben and Jerry are Jewish. They've also been a long supporter of BDS.
Ice cream company Ben and Jerry's is suing its parent company, the British multinational consumer goods giant Unilever. Why? Well, Ben and Jerry's claims that Unilever silenced it from speaking out in support of Palestine. It also claims that Unilever threatened to dismantle its board and sue board members over the issue. Unilever rejects these claims. But in the lawsuit, Ben & Jerry's says it has tried to call for a ceasefire, it has tried to support safe passage for Palestinian refugees to the UK, it's tried to back US student protests on Gaza, and it tried to advocate for the Biden administration to stop sending military aid to Israel. But in each area, it claims to have been effectively muzzled by Unilever. Tensions have been simmering between the ice cream manufacturer and its parent company for years. In 2021, Ben & Jerry's tried to take a stand on illegal Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank. Ben & Jerry's said it would stop selling its products there, as doing so was inconsistent with its brand values. So Unilever decided to sell its Ben & Jerry's business in Israel and the West Bank to Israeli licensee Avi Zinger, allowing marketing in the West Bank and Israel to continue. Ben & Jerry's responded by suing Unilever in 2022 to try to block the sale. That 2022 lawsuit was settled in the same year, and the terms of the settlement were not made public. But in their new lawsuit, Ben & Jerry's is now accusing Unilever of breaching the terms of the 2022 settlement. The brand says Peter Culver, Unilever's head of ice cream, that is a job, voiced concerns about, quote, the continued perception of anti-Semitism regarding Ben & Jerry's speaking up for Gazan refugees. The 2022 settlement also required Unilever to make a $5 million payment that Ben & Jerry's could donate to human rights groups of its choice. Ben & Jerry's picked Jewish Voice for Peace and the San Francisco Bay Area chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations, amongst others. According to the lawsuit, Unilever wasn't happy with Ben & Jerry's choosing a Jewish Voice for Peace, saying it was, quote, too critical of the Israeli government. Now, relations, amongst others. According to the lawsuit, Unilever wasn't happy with Ben & Jerry's choosing a Jewish Voice for Peace, saying it was, quote, too critical of the Israeli government. Now, Unilever owns plenty of popular household brand names.
By the way, like they've always been fantastic. They're so sick. Like, look, man, I got so much love for you. I got so much love for you if you have been, keeping up with this cause for years and years. And Ben & Jerry's is like that. They're fantastic. They're incredible. I just wish that their ice cream was like lower calorie, I think. Here are the four posts Ben & Jerry's said its parent company ordered for it not to publish. Ben & Jerry's filed a lawsuit against its parent company Unilever on Thursday. It claims that Unilever stopped it from making 4 public statements supporting Palestinians. Unilever rejects the claim, saying it would defend its case very strongly. Ben & Jerry's taken legal action against its parent company. Here are the posts from the lawsuit. December 2023, ceasefire call. Ben & Jerry's claims it told Unilever in December 2023 they planned on issuing a statement calling for peace and a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. At the time, Israel was several weeks into a sprawling invasion of Gaza, retaliation for the October 7th terrorist attack by Hamas. Ben & Jerry's calls for peace and a permanent and immediate ceasefire, the statement read. May 2024, visas for refugees. Ben & Jerry's tried to issue another statement in May 2024 through its social activism managers in Europe. This one called for legal immigration pathway to the UK for Palestinians fleeing the war in Gaza, the lawsuit said. Just like the UK did for Ukrainians, we asked for the government to urgently create a visa scheme allowing Palestinians to reunite safely with their loved ones in the UK. June 2024, supporting campus protests. Ben & Jerry said it intended to support pro-Palestinian college protesters in the U.S. by posting a public statement in June. It said the post would support their First Amendment rights, but the lawsuit did not include its text. In September, Ben & Jerry sought to endorse Bernie Sanders' resolution calling for legislation blocking $20 billion in arms sales to Israel. We urge you to join us in calling on the Senate to pass their Sanders resolution and halt an additional $20 billion in military aid to Israel, the statement said. I like that people... My point is this, okay? People talk about how wokeism is dead, cancel culture is dead. We hate these identity politics. But if it's serving the interest of like reactionary goals, reactionary agendas, if it's serving the interest of like defending an apartheid state, defending a genocide, or silencing critics of a genocide and an apartheid state, then everybody loves it. Okay? People use it. They love it. They don't even talk about it. It's really up. Professor of Holocaust history Goldberg condemns all violence against Jews, but according to him, the riots in Amsterdam have nothing to do with the pogrom. The problem is the genocide in Gaza. You know what's really crazy? Remember the J Street poll that I showed you of American Jews and their opinion on ceasefire in Gaza and even denying arms transfers? American Jews overwhelmingly support that. Okay? Overwhelmingly. And there are Jews in the Netherlands that are protesting against Israel right now, and it still doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. It's crazy. It's like we are not listening to anybody on this issue. It's like people are of one mind. They're like, nope, doesn't matter. Don't give a f-. It is anti-Semitic to claim that Jews are monolithic. It is anti-Semitic to claim that Jews all exclusively care about and defend Israel. Okay? And woke people do this as well. Woke people do this all the time. They also do this. And you know who else does it? Even more frequently? Anti-Semites. This is why I never, like, when people try to do, like, 4chan memes where they say, like, Zionist occupied government or Zog or whatever, like, I don't let that slide in here at all. Because I also understand that there are, and I've said this time and time again, there are plenty of people, there are definitely a non-zero number of anti-Semitic people that have attached themselves to anti-Zionism. This is true, okay? 100%. And if I catch you doing something like that, I ban you. It's that simple. And it's always been that way. I use it as an educational opportunity to explain to people why this is wrong thinking. But if you were to tell me like, oh, do you feel like you're maybe in the wrong? Do you feel like you're just wrong and you know, the American State Department is right on this? Like, no, I don't. And the question, I guess, remains, which State Department? Because there are other organs of within the American State Department that also are in alignment with me. It's just at the tippy top, they do not care. This is one of the most like revealing aspects of being pro-Israel. Ben Shapiro, all the way back in 2015, after Ann Coulter says some horrific that is deeply anti-Semitic about Jewish people, Ben Shapiro tweeted, Ann Coulter tweets regarding Jews awful, nonsensical. Ann Coulter is also super pro-Israel and has always been so I won't lose sleep. You can now report people for terrorism now on Twitch. What does that even mean on an internet platform? I don't know, but I do know what that is going to look like. Any sort of conversation that talks about like militancy, resistance groups, any sort of conversation that you could have under normal academic circumstances, okay, about how terror organizations are designated as terror organizations, what the political application and the practical application of the designation of terror looks like, okay? All of that stuff is now not allowed to be talked about. That's it. All of that stuff is, nope, can't do it, not allowed. It's crazy.